Hello, 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 you guys. Welcome to Kettlebells 101. Today is our first workshop of 5. I'm going to be here Monday through Friday, starting at 10:15 Pacific to take you through what I think is the most important stuff to get started working with kettlebells. If you guys are beginners, that's awesome. If you have some experience, but you just want to maybe confirm what you think you know about kettlebells, then that is great too. I'm super happy that you guys are here. I know a lot of people are going to be watching the recorded version too. Just so you know, there's about 150 people who signed up, and I am super stoked to have each and every one of you guys here and learning from me. So I just want to give you an overview of what we're going to be doing today and during the week in Kettlebells 101. So today specifically, I'm going to give you sort of an overview on who I am. We're going to start talking about kettlebells as a tool, why I think they're so amazing, why I've been obsessed with them for about 5 years. We're going to start talking about what kettlebells you should have for your own home use, and I'll answer questions. So if you guys know you have some questions that you have to hop off in the next few minutes or whatever, please feel free to leave a question in the chat or just send me a question in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer those before we finish up today. Or if a question comes up for you and you want to ask it towards the end, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question then. And that'll be it for today, really. So we don't have to have anything with us today. We're not actually going to be using kettlebells. I'll be showing you some things, but we're not actually going to get started using them until Tuesday, and then really on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today, just some education and background. Tuesday, we're going to start talking about core bracing. I'm going to show you how to pick up a kettlebell, the different ways to hold the kettlebell, how to safely put it down. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to start going over some movements. Wednesday is going to be rows and squats. Thursday is going to be deadlifts and overhead presses. And then on Friday, we're going to put everything together to be doing a total body workout. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Rachel Eslick. I live in Clovis, California, which is right next door to Fresno, if you know where that is, kind of right in the middle of the state. I have been a kettlebell trainer since 2017. So for about 5+ years now. And I've been a trainer since 2015. This is my second career. My first career was in broadcast journalism. So I went to school just down the road at Fresno State and majored in broadcast communications and went on to become a TV reporter working in local news here in Fresno and in Bend, Oregon, and some in Eugene, Oregon also. Worked in news for about 10 years and then decided to get out of that after I got married and wanted a little bit more, stable hours and not working on holidays and stuff like that. So got into more communications and PR, got my training certification. And then my husband and I were moving for his job, and I decided to just go all in on training. And I've been a full-time trainer since 2017, 16, 17. I don't know, the years are a blur. But anyways, about a year and a half ago, relocated back to my hometown of Fresno, Clovis, California. I primarily coach online. I do take in-person clients. If you live local to me, I have a home studio, which I'm in right now. So I do take clients here one-on-one. And then the majority of people I work with are online. And I do group online training, and we do, surprise, surprise, a ton of kettlebell work. And what else about me? I have a daughter. Her name is Mary. She's about 3.5 years old. So if you follow me on social media, no doubt you've seen a little bit of her. And I have a husband. His name is Tal. What else? I can talk to you all day long about kettlebells, but that was the thing I was not looking forward to the most, was just giving you a little bit about me. So that's a little bit about me. Let's go ahead and jump into our kettlebell curriculum for today. So first, I want to talk to you about why I think kettlebells are so amazing for beginners to fitness, beginners to strength workouts. It is because they are, and I have a little kettlebell right here. They are small, they are compact. You can keep them under your bed, in a corner of your room, and just pick it up when you need to. It's not a whole big old machine that takes up like an entire room or becomes a rack for your clothes. They're very approachable and useful for beginners. So if I have a new client, someone who's never worked out before, I can feel very comfortable giving them some kettlebell exercises that it's not going to be overwhelming, or there's not like a ton of technique that you need to be able to start lifting with kettlebells. There are three really common weights that people use a lot for strength training. So one of them is a dumbbell. You've probably seen dumbbells many times in your lives. Dumbbells are very approachable for beginners. I would say you probably need the least amount of technique to start doing things with dumbbells, to start using dumbbells, lifting weights with them. On the opposite side of the spectrum, behind me on the ground right here is a barbell. So that's one of these big straight bars. They range from about 35 pounds, 33 pounds to 45 pounds. That takes a lot of technique and a lot of training. If you want to do it well, you might work for a month or two just using a PVC pipe on training good technique for barbell lifting before you actually start using a barbell. So I would say dumbbells, really, really, really approachable for beginners. Dumbbells, approachable. Barbells, lots of technique and learning. And then right in the middle there is a kettlebell, right? So it's a little bit more technique than a dumbbell, but a lot less than a barbell. And I just made a reel about this, but it is a kettlebell, B-E-L-L, not a kettleball. Even though it is a round ball with a handle on it, it's still a kettlebell, just like a dumbbell is a bell and a barbell is a bell, kettlebell. Anyways, just had to get that monkey off my back. Approachable for beginners, and kettlebells are still really fun and dynamic and challenging for advanced lifters. So I've been using kettlebells almost exclusively since I became certified in 2000, what did I say, 16, 17, and I think it was 17. And I still use them all the time. I would say 90% of the movement and exercise I do is with kettlebells. And I would say I'm pretty advanced at this point, and you can just keep learning, keep using, moving up to heavier and heavier kettlebells when you're ready for it. And the movements can get more dynamic and explosive, and you can just keep working on getting better at your movements and skills. Even if you're not, moving up in weight or doing crazy stuff, like there's always room to practice and grow. And I just think that as someone like me who was an athlete growing up, it really can help you tap into that like athleticism and chasing kind of PRs and new goals. I think it's really exciting for people who are advanced and very approachable for people who are beginners. So that's why I love working with people on kettlebells, because I think they're approachable, diverse, you can grow with your training, and I hope to still be using kettlebells, well into my advanced age. By the way, I'm 40, just in case anyone was wondering how old she is. Okay, so you can use kettlebells to lift weights and get strong. And that's what we're going to be doing in this workshop. Is I'm going to teach you 4 movements: the kettlebell squat, row, deadlift, and overhead press. Those are all slow grinding, they call them, exercises, as opposed to other movements you can do like swings and snatches, which are more ballistic in nature. We're going to be learning the strength exercises, which I think are the foundational skills you need to have in order to do more technical and advanced movements in the future. So we're going to be working on strength, but kettlebells are also extremely useful and low impact for cardiovascular work too. So you can use kettlebells and do things like swings and jump squats and snatches, or you can put together a whole bunch of movements without setting the kettlebell down. That would be a kettlebell chain or a kettlebell complex, and you can work your cardiovascular system as well. So like weighted cardio, in addition to doing strength exercises. So you can do so much with one tool, which I feel like is not really the case for a lot of other tools out there to use for exercise. Okay, everybody that's on this call live is not on camera, which is totally fine. I want you guys to keep doing what you're doing and just listen, and that is all good. But I don't know how many of you guys already have kettlebells at home and how many people are looking to buy their first one, but I have a ton of advice about what kinds of kettlebells to have on hand and what to stay away from. So I personally, I have, I don't know, 20 to 25 kettlebells, and a lot of people that I work with, they start with one, and then it becomes two, and then 2 years later they have like 10 kettlebells at home. And it's just because they start with something, they get stronger, they need another one, they get stronger, they need another one, or they want to get a set, like a pair of 15s and a pair of 20s or whatever. So these things tend to multiply like bunnies. But if you do not know what to get, or you're not sure if you have the right kind of kettlebell, I definitely have some advice for that. So my kettlebells are an assorted variety, but the ones that I like the most and use the most are cast iron. So they are metal. I like the brand Rogue, Rogue. That's what this is, but not all of them are like that. You want to look for something that is solid, one piece. And it's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but you want the kettlebell to have been made as a whole, as opposed to the ball is manufactured somewhere, the handle is manufactured, and then it's like welded together. You want it all to be like set in the same, I've never been to a manufacturing plant, but like that it's all made together, right? So sometimes it's hard to tell, but if you're able to look for that, then I would definitely like want to get something where the handle is not just glued on or welded or whatever. It's pretty hard to break a kettlebell that's made out of cast iron, but I think that it can happen. I've never personally seen it, but just for like longevity, you want to make sure that the handle's not just going to randomly fall off. So cast iron, the handle is welded to the actual ball of the kettlebell. They are going to chip. So you can see this one has chipped, and that's fine. For home use, these things are probably going to stay a lot nicer looking than they will at the gym when they're being used like 24/7. You're probably not using your kettlebell every day. And if you are, it's for like 30 to 45 minutes. So it's not going to get a ton of wear and tear. Some other kettlebells so I like the brand Rogue. There's also Kettlebell Kings is a really reputable brand. On it, ONNIT. They're mostly going to be like cast iron powder coated. The powder coating just makes it so that the handle is a little bit less slippery. When they have a glossy finish, that's sometimes when your hand gets sweaty, and the kettlebell, it has like a glossy handle. Sometimes it can just feel slippery in your hand. But one way to get around that is to use some kind of like chalk. So I keep liquid chalk in my gym just because I don't want the powder kind of flying around everywhere. Rep Fitness. Yeah, super similar. Yeah, I have a friend who has a kettlebell gym and she bought all of her kettlebells from Rep Fitness. I think that's a really good brand also. Honestly, most of my clients buy their kettlebells on Amazon because it's free shipping and it'll get there in 2 days. And there have been some like really great sales like Black Friday. Pricing on kettlebells has been crazy over the past 2 years. Like when the pandemic first started, it was super hard to get any home gym equipment. Kettlebells were really, really hard to find. Before the pandemic, I would have said that you want to look for pricing about $1 per pound. So this kettlebell right here is 13 pounds or 6 kilograms. It has both of the kilograms and the pounds printed on the back of it. I would have said that something like this, a good price, like a really good price, would be $13 for a 13-pound kettlebell. The pandemic blew all of that out of the water. In some cases, I saw things at Target that were like a 15-pound kettlebell for $45. So that would be $3 a pound. Now I think the prices have leveled off. So I would recommend that if you're price shopping, looking for something that's like $1 to $2 per pound, I would say is really good. So a 13-pound kettlebell might cost you $25. And I would say that's probably still fine. You just want to make sure that it's, good quality. And how you know if it's good quality, sometimes you just have to buy it and like see how it does. 1 second while I grab this other kettlebell. This one is Fitness Systems, and I've had it for a really long time. And it sat outside for a really long time too. And you can see that it's like rusted on the bottom. It's chipping, the enamel is chipping off of it. But I still use it. Like I don't use it all the time, but I've had it for probably 5 years. It's still fine. I mean, when I set it down on the floor, I just maybe want to make sure I put a towel down so rust doesn't get on my floor, but it's not the end of the world. I wouldn't buy that kettlebell again, but like now I know. A lot of my clients buy stuff that has plastic around the metal, and I believe that is to protect your flooring so that when you're setting it down, it's not going to like chip your tile or mess up your flooring. And I think that's fine. I just wouldn't want plastic on the handle because I think that's slippery. And after you move on from the foundational fundamental exercises, when you're starting to do things where the kettlebell is going to like slide around in your hand, like snatches or a little bit for swings, you want to make sure that that's like a comfortable, smooth handle, not smooth, but not plastic, because it is going to turn around in your hand. And yeah, you don't want it to be like slippery. You also don't want it to have like pokey spots or anything, because I've bought kettlebells like that before too, where there's like some weird point on it and it just is abrasive to your hand. Some people wear gloves too when they're using kettlebells. I don't, because I love to have disgusting blisters and calluses, but some people do. And if that's you, that's totally fine. There was another thing. Oh, kettlebells that are made with like sand in them or cement, stuff like that, you want to avoid. Anything that is like actually made of plastic and not made with metal, you want to avoid, because those types of things can crack. The sand can leak out. If it's made with cement, it's just not good quality. I have thought about buying like sandbags that you can fill with sand, and then there's a handle on it to bring with me on vacation. And I think if you're like traveling or you want something portable that you can just throw in your suitcase and then add something to it. Like if you're at the beach, that's something to do like for traveling, but for everyday use, I wouldn't recommend that, just because that stuff like leaks or cracks, or it's just not going to give you probably a lot of longevity. And if you're going to invest in something, like you want it to stay good and you want it to stay around for a while. Okay, one thing I have not talked about, what weight should you buy? So for most people, I used to have this whole like, if you can do X amount of push-ups, then you should blah, blah, blah. I stopped. I feel like most people who are just starting out with kettlebells, they buy the same stuff. Most women specifically are not as strong in their upper body as they are in their lower body. It's how we're built. It's, you know, it's everyone. It's not just you. It's not just me, it's all of us. So for most people, they feel comfortable going a little bit lighter with a weight that they're gonna take overhead or do upper body lifting. So for most people, that's gonna be 10 to 15 pounds. 10 to 15 pounds for a lighter kettlebell. So this one's 13, it's right in the middle. And then lower body lifts, like we're gonna be doing deadlifts. And for a deadlift, which is a lower body exercise, but we are using like all of your posterior muscles, something like 15 pounds is probably going to feel really light for a deadlift. So I recommend, if you're going to buy one kettlebell, I would say make it like 15 pounds. If you're going to buy two kettlebells, I would say one of them, make it a little bit lighter, 10 to 15, and then one of them, make it a little bit heavier. So maybe 20 to 25 pounds, because this one's 20 pounds right here. When it comes to things like squats, so our squat, and when it comes to things like deadlifts, the lighter weight is probably going to feel really light. And you're going to notice like, ooh, I could probably lift 5 to 10 pounds or 15 pounds more. And we want to be challenging ourselves. So I would say if you're going to get two kettlebells, one lighter, one more in that like medium to heavy category. And then if you're going to get like a set of kettlebells, you might want to think about getting like two lighter kettlebells of equal weight, because we're not really going to be doing anything in this course with double kettlebells, but it is a really fun way of kind of adding some variety to your workouts if you ever work with like double kettlebells. So I have a 13 here. I'll grab the other 13. So you can do like double overhead presses or double rack position squats or double kettlebell swings. And it's just another way to add some complexity and some variety to your workouts. So it totally depends on like what your comfort level is, kind of where you are in your training. If you're super, super beginner, just grab one kettlebell and just start there. And I think you'll know like when is a good time to bump up in weight. But I mean, we all have to start somewhere. If you've been doing this for a while and you already have stuff and you're like, actually a set would be super fun, then grab yourself like two of the same weight. And that, I think that's my starting recommendation, is like one or a light and a medium, or two light and a medium. And then I think you'll be good to go for a while. In my Reach Fitness at Home, which is my group kettlebell home workout fitness program, we use kettlebells. You kind of just use whatever you have, and I give options for double kettlebell work too. So I'll be like, okay, if you have double kettlebells, let's go ahead and use them for this thing. If you don't, then here's the other option. Just use a single kettlebell and do this and this instead. So I always give options, but I think it's fun to have a set of doubles. Like I said, we're not going to use doubles in this workshop at all, but just something to think about for later. That's it. That's it for my like kettlebell, what to have at home recommendations. I'm just going to take a look at the chat real fast to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, rep fitness is good. That's it. If you guys have any questions and you want to add it to the chat, I'm happy to answer. Or if you want to like virtually raise your hand, you can do that, or you can just unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask. I'm just going to share with you real fast what we're planning, what I'm planning. When I say we, it's just me. I don't have a team. I don't have an assistant. It is just me. So for the rest of this week, tomorrow, if you have a kettlebell and you're going to be here live or watching the recording, go ahead and bring your kettlebell and we're going to get started using it. So I'm going to talk about core bracing, which before we get into any sort of like actual exercises and movements, I want to teach you how to brace your core and how to get strong through your core so that you can really move with some intention. And we're also going to start playing with the kettlebell, talk about picking it up efficiently so you look like a professional, not a newbie. How to hold the kettlebell in different positions, why we would hold it in different positions. And then Wednesday and Thursday is when we're going to start actually learning movements. So the squat and the row on Wednesday, on Thursday, the overhead press and the deadlift. So one lower body and one upper body exercise each day. So we can really take some time and make sure you guys are understanding how to do this. And then on Friday is going to be our total body workout. So we're going to put together all of the elements that we've learned throughout the week and put it into about a 30-minute workout. So my goal for this workshop is to take people from a beginning place into knowing how to confidently use our kettlebells for a full body workout that you can do from home, that you can do from the gym, and you know that you're doing it correctly in order to get stronger so that we can build our muscles and move well and stay mobile and stay strong, you know, as we go through our lives. So that is it for me. Thank you again so much for being here today, and I hope to see you again in our next workshop and all throughout the week. All right, you guys, if you don't have any questions, then you are free to go. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, you guys.